Asched Ewing-Meeks, age 26, lived with his girlfriend Ashton Brown, age 26, and their two children, 4-year-old Bella, and 8-month-old Brix. The family lived at their home, located at 1943 Junction Road in Kulami, North Carolina. Kulami, North Carolina has a population of around 1,000 citizens. The small town is located at the banks of the South Yadkin River. Ashton Brown works as an instructional assistant at South 4th Elementary School in Winston-Salem. The school is within the Salem-Forsyth County school system. She previously worked as a delivery truck driver for FedEx. On April 18 in 2022 at 12:11 p.m. Ewing-Meeks, Brown and their children entered the Davie County Sheriff's Office. A security camera captured their interaction. The couple were very elusive as to their issue. He briefly asked about a concealed carry permit. When the receptionist asked for contact information, Brown gave her parents' address. The receptionist gave Ewing-Meeks a phone number to call and the family left the sheriff's office at 12:15 p.m. At 12:35 p.m. Brown called 911, and told the Davie County dispatcher that they needed to speak with a deputy. She told the dispatcher that she needed an officer to call her back. She mentioned safety concerns. She said she was calling for her boyfriend. She didn't give any further details. At 12:46 p.m. a deputy from the sheriff's department called Brown back. When Brown answered, she handed the phone over to Ewing-Meeks. The call only lasted for less than a minute. It either dropped or he hung up. The deputy called back, and the call again lasted less than a minute, then the call ended. The deputy attempted to call back, the call lasted for 2 minutes, then again either Ewing-Meeks hung up or the call dropped. At 12:54 p.m. the deputy called back, and this time the call lasted for nearly 6 minutes. At 1:06 p.m. the deputy attempted to call again, but the call went straight to voicemail. Another attempt was made at 1:07 p.m., but again that call went straight to voicemail. The deputy was unable to make further contact. During the 4 phone calls between the deputy and Ewing-Meeks, he claimed someone was following him, but said he didn't feel in danger. The officer tried to get him to come back to the sheriff's office, but he declined. During the calls the family was driving around in their car and refused to give the deputy their location. At 2 p.m. an eyewitness noticed Ewing-Meeks and Brown fighting in the front yard of their home. While arguing, the two went back inside the home. Shortly later, a motorist driving by spotted smoke bellowing from the home. The witness drove straight to the Kulami Fire Department and reported the fire. At 2:14 p.m., fire trucks from several fire departments were dispatched to the home, including Woodleaf, Scotch Irish, and Franklin from Rowan County. Once the fire was extinguished, and first responders entered the home, in the kitchen they located the bodies of Ashton Brown and 8-month-old Brix. 4-year-old Bella was located in the doorway of her bedroom. Arched Ewing-Meeks was found at the end of the hallway to the kitchen. All victims were shot. Meeks still had the gun in his hand. At approximately 2:30 p.m. homicide detectives arrived at the crime scene with a search warrant for the home issued by the SBI. Fire investigators determined that the fire was no accident. However, the origin of the fire or how it was initiated was not established. Autopsy reports show that all 4 family members died from gunshot injuries. It was determined that Ewing-Meeks murdered his girlfriend and 2 children, set the fire, then turned the gun on himself. After a thorough investigation, reviewing the autopsy records, and interviewing witnesses, investigators determined that Ewing-Meeks shot his family, then killed himself. Sheriff J.D. Harmon told reporters, "It's a murder-suicide." He said, "Children who are killed by gunshots and burned is pretty heinous." He said there's been no domestic violence within the home, and no other emergency calls were made at that residence. Harmon said in a press conference that he's seen a lot in his 30 years, but this case is close to the worst if not the worst. Sheriff Harmon said, "It's definitely been an impact on the community, on the neighborhood. It's not an area where we have a lot of calls or issues." The neighbors said they were good neighbors. Fire Chief Drew Hermano from the Kulami Fire Department said, "This is a tragedy that has rocked our community, and we appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers. Keep them strong in the coming days." A GoFundMe was set up to help the Brown family with funeral and burial expenses. Friends and neighbors placed balloons, flowers and stuffed animals as a memorial to the family. Funeral and burial arrangements have not been made known to the general public. Brandon Taylor Cole-Skogstad, 29 years old, had a long history of untreated mental illness. He lived on Timber Lane Drive in Hermantown, Minnesota. Cole-Skogstad was especially close with his aunt, her husband, Rihanna and Sean, and their two daughters, Shyway and Sadie. He lived with the family for some time before moving into his own home. Rihanna and Sean met in Anchorage, Alaska when Sean was working the North Slope oil fields, while Rihanna was working for AmeriCorps. The two wrote back and forth for over a year before meeting up again, and eventually marrying. The couple had two daughters, 12-year-old Shyway and 9-year-old Sadie, both attended Lowell Elementary School in Duluth, Minnesota. The girls enjoyed being in the Girl Scouts. Shyway, Sadie and their mother Rihanna always headed up the annual Girl Scout cookie drive. The Barrys were well known for always decorating their home in a rememberable way for every holiday. Around noon on Wednesday on April 20 in 2022, the Duluth Police Department received a call that someone was having a mental health crisis. Police were asked to do a welfare check on Brandon Cole-Skogstad, however they could not locate him at his residence. The Hermantown police reached a family member who advised them that Cole-Skogstad sent him a text message saying he planned on killing himself and other family members. He posted the same message on Facebook. The family member told police that Cole-Skogstad may be at the Barry family home visiting. The Hermantown police then contacted the Duluth Police Department and gave them the address of the Barry family. The same family member also told authorities that Cole-Skogstad had access to weapons. Police were immediately dispatched to the Barry home, and arrived at approximately 12:30 p.m., and knocked on the front door. Officers heard a single gunshot come from inside the home. This forced officers to back off and call for help. The St. Louis County Sheriff's Office arrived at the scene, as well as the Superior Police Department, who brought a Bearcat. The Duluth police officers used robots and drones to enter the home safely. When police made entry, they discovered 5 dead bodies, and the Barry's family dog, also dead. Brandon Taylor Cole-Skogstad was among the dead. A 9mm handgun was found near his body. The victims were Sean Barry, age 47, Rihanna Barry, age 44, Shyway Elizabeth Barry, age 12, and Sadie Lucille Barry, age 9. All died of gunshot wounds. After an investigation, police believe Cole-Skogstad shot and killed the family as they slept. Then shot the family's beloved dog before committing suicide. Cole-Skogstad's Facebook page gives some insight into his thoughts. "I am 29 years old and have suffered many years of mental illness. I almost never sought out help, because I felt I never deserved it. I wish so badly to go back and make better choices in life. Ignore the hatred thrown at me by my peers for so long. I wish I could have just accepted the love I was given by my family I loved so much, but couldn't express it. I wish I didn't spread my poisonous mentality onto my most cherished and beloved person ever, Shyway Elizabeth Barry." He posted one last Facebook post before taking his own life. "I have made the absolutely horrid choice in not only taking my life, but the lives of my aunt, Rihanna Lou Barry, my uncle Sean Barry, and my two sweet, beyond angelic cousins Sadie Lucille Barry and Shyway Elizabeth Barry, he continued, I cannot fathom how I came to this decision, but I do know this. If there is a God sitting in heaven, I wish so much that he grant my family the most peaceful heavenly afterlife possible. I love you all, and please know I knew you all loved me. I tried my best to fight it. Goodbye. Authorities believe he posted this after murdering the family, and right before taking his own life. Chief Mike Tuscan said the entire Duluth Police Department would like to offer our heartfelt condolences to the Barry family, to those who knew them, and the East Hillside neighborhood. Incidents like these shake our sense of safety as a community and the region as a whole. In my 30 years of policing, I have never seen anything like this. Sometimes people forget that the officers and investigators responding to the scene have families too. This is devastating for them to respond to see, and to process afterwards. I cannot thank the members of our team enough for their service, and for their care for this community. On every level, this incident is deeply painful for our community, Mayor Emily Larson said. Especially impacted are the neighbors of East Hillside and first responders. Thank you to neighbors for taking good care of one another and for knowing the beautiful parts of the Barry family. Thank you to DPD for answering the call of public safety. I'm sorry for what you experienced, which is deeply traumatic. As a parent and member of a family, it is wrenching to consider what the Barry family might be feeling. There is only loss to every part of this story. To the Barry family, our community mourns with you and we share in your pain. Because your loss is our community's loss. A candlelight vigil was held for the family at the residence on East 12th Street in Duluth on April 24 in 2022. Police Chaplain Father John Petrich spoke at the vigil saying, "When we hold up our candles, we dispel the darkness of this tragedy. When we hold up our candles, the evil of darkness will not overwhelm us." He continued, "Dear God, we gather this night, not because we are afraid but because we know great love. Love shared with the very family, love shared by the community of Duluth, by the neighborhood here on 12th Street, a love that will not be conquered," he said. "We keep in our hearts their story, their love, their legacy. And we ask you to help us be stronger to withstand anything that might come our way, because together, we make a difference. And together, nothing bad, no tragedy will conquer us." Funeral and burial arrangements have not been made yet. If you or someone you know is suffering with mental illness, please seek help immediately. If you are thinking of harming yourself or someone else, please call the toll-free number for your country listed in the description area below this video. What happened to Asched Ewing-Meeks? Was he suffering from some sort of paranoid delusion that someone was following him? Or was this a calculated action from a deranged man? There are some who believe the family truly was being followed, and those people are the murderers. However, evidence points to Asched as being the killer. He still had the gun in his hands that murdered his girlfriend and two small children. I guess the truth went up with the smoke as the house burned. Either way, it's sad that a lovely young woman was killed, and her two beautiful children will never get to grow up. Brandon Taylor Cole-Skogstad was a deeply disturbed man. It appears he battled mental illness for quite some time, and never received any treatment. He grew especially close to his aunt, uncle and two nieces. At some point he decided to take his own life, and sadly he took those who loved him the most with him. It's devastating that two little girls will never get to decide who to take to the prom, who to dance with, who to marry, or be a parent to their own children. May all the victims in both cases rest in peace. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.
Want to help support the channel you love, and get something in return? Simply purchase some Elizabeth's Chronicles merch. We have coffee mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, cozy blankets, beach towels, phone covers and more. Use the coupon code EC10OFF4U and get 10% off your order. The link to order is in the description area below this video. Thanks for helping Elizabeth's Chronicles continue to make the videos you love.